one email from you, gentlemen, and that's from Mr. Robinson, but nothing is attached. I want to give you guys an opportunity right now before I get you guys moving forward.
You say you only see something from who?
I only see something from Mr. Robinson, and there are no attachments, Mr. Robinson. Okay. And then Mr. Smith, I don't see any email from you at all. So let me just confirm. What evidence did you email?
I actually emailed a confession saying why this was actually being processed and why this information actually report as far as and why the warrant was taken out. I have a confession saying that the witnesses are going to lie.
Oh,
if I can, I do have that.
If it's just a writing.
No, it's not a writing. It's a recording.
Of yourself?
No, of him, sir.
Of Mr. Robinson?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it a voice recording or a video?
Yes, sir. It's a voice recording.
He's right here. So, we can use that obviously, but did he know he was being recorded?
No, sir.
Okay. Let's see what the evidence comes out, because if he doesn't know that he's being recorded, we'll have to see. That might be some impeachment evidence, maybe.
It is.
But we'll see. We'll see
yes,
about it. Oh, hold on, Mr. Robinson. I can handle my own hearing. I don't need you to chime in like this is background singing. All right. So, Mr. Robinson, tell me, the evidence that you are going to be sending, what is it?
It was a statement of it should have been a statement of one of the witnesses that was actually on the premises of the event.
Okay. But is that witness here?
Yes, sir. They're here.
Oh, well, then we don't need a statement. They can give their own testimony.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't seem like the things that you emailed are going to impede what we need to do.
No, it just being that I was the one that initiated the warrant, I was giving instruction to, I guess, do so. So
no, it's fine. We got witnesses here, so we're good money. So what I need you folks to do is go ahead and raise their right hand for them. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, under penalty and perjury of the law?
I do.
Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Smith, I'm going to ask that you place yourself on mute for the time being.
Okay? Yes, sir.
So there'll be no unnecessary interruption, because I know folks, when people say things that they don't like, they tend to be like, oh, no, that's a lie. We don't want to hear that. I want to hear whatever people have to say clearly. So, Mr. Robinson, I want you to give me some background. It is 6:48. I'm going to give you till about, I would say 6:53, 6:54, regarding the allegation of terroristic threats that occurred on September 5th, 2023. And there's So, and I will say that on the complaint, it says August 5th, 2023. And so please, if there's anything different, clarify in your opening, and you can start now.
I believe that is the correct date, August 5th. It basically was a routine night. My daughter, she does competition cheer, and that usually takes place every Tuesday and Thursday. So this particular evening, a regular routine evening, being judged that I'm not able to see my children on a regular routine, I make it my business to show up to my daughter's practice. I'm a cheer dad. I'm the one who put my daughter into cheerleading. So, I have every right to be there. And being that I'm not able to see them consistently, I go out of my way, being that I'm a coach as well, to make it my business to see my daughter and bring her a Gatorade every time I come, right? So this particular evening, I did the same thing. I believe I left and then came back. Well, instead of going inside the gymnasium, because that's where all the events took place, because the parents can't go in. So you have parents, children, whomever may be outside on the premises waiting until the cheerleading practice is over. So as I come back, I see another cheer dad, right? So I go, I speak with him, I have candid conversation, and I realized that the mother of my children is at the practice as well. Well, how I actually came about meeting Mr. Smith wasn't by a regular introduction. It wasn't a, hey, this is he. This is who around your children. This is my boyfriend. It wasn't no introduction of that. Better yet, instead of her referencing to my children that he is a boyfriend, they call him Uncle Jay, right? Very weird. I'll get to that in a minute. So that's how I met him. I met him with the mother of my children, bringing this non-existent individual to my daughter's practice. She was doing this overall. I mean, she had been doing this ongoing. So I said all that to say this particular evening, he was at, the event as well. I seen the mother of my children. The reason I even went to her, my daughter, she does, she was trying to do band at the school. And so the teacher had told me through Class Dojo, I sent home a piece of information for you to sign and for me to go get, the instrument for her to go to school. Well, Judge, I'm not able to see my baby on a regular day or a regular basis after school and communicate to get that form and purchase it. I said I needed to speak to Mom. Perfect. Now, I walked over to the car. Now, at this point, I'm still talking to the chair dad, but I simply walk over to the mother of my children's car, and Judge, it's so weird. I couldn't even knock on the window. I was about to, literally knock on the window. That's it. To reverence what I needed to speak about. I didn't get a chance to do that. At that point, Mr. Smith took it upon himself and jumped out of the car. He jumped out, ran around the front of the hood, and immediately started trying to attack me, trying to fight me, literally just trying to fight me. And so, hey, it's chess over checkers. I have to realize where I'm at. I'm at my daughter's practice. I'm around all these children. And again, there's no reason for you to feel any type of way to want to try to fight me. You making terroristic threats. You'll kill me. I'll what you said, I'll burn you. Basically saying you will shoot me. And at this point, you're saying this around, my son is outside. You have my other cousins outside. And so while all this takes place, now you have the other cheer dad that comes around, right? He comes in defense to try to see what's going on, because guess what? His son is outside. So he's like, whoa, what's going on? Literally trying to see because he know I'm going to speak to the mother of my children. So it's not an issue. But he only comes over because Mr. Smith is belligerent. He couldn't contain himself. He had to get out the car, and all of a sudden he had to prove to the mother of my children that, hey, I got your back. And so I understand you stating that you don't want to hear about the past. I get that. I'm not going to revert to the past, but I will state this isn't the first time that he's made these statements. I actually have a statement where he apologized. He apologized to me and said, you know what? I'm sorry for almost wanting to take my frustration out on you, because he realized the trajectory of my relationship with the mother of my children and his relationship, right? He just got out of prison last year. Let me first state that. He's a felon. And he did a whole 10-year bid. And so now, again, I don't know this information until I did my research. And he went to prison for robbery, right? So,
Mr. Robinson?
Yes, sir.
654. And
okay.
I just need to clarify, I appreciate the information that you provided.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay focused on why we're here.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Absolutely.
All right, Mr. Smith, you can go ahead and mute yourself. I want to let Mr. Smith go ahead and give his information. So Mr. Smith is 655. I'm going to give you to about 701 to tell me a little bit about this incident.
All right. How you doing, Your
Honor?
First of all, as far as in the whatever took place at the cheer practice, sir, this is exactly what happened. Me and my girlfriend pulled up, which is usually, now this is the thing about Mr. Timothy Robinson. He has beaten her for so long, for over 10 years. So this is the thing that he has, and there are criminal reports and everything. So when we do pull up to the actual cheer practice, and she's pregnant at the time, he likes the police had just been called prior to this a week ago where he didn't want to leave her home. I cannot protect her all the time. I work all day, work 14 hours a day. So when we did pull up, he did appear. She tried to park away from him. He knows this. We park away, totally away from him. His kids are not in the car. He knows this. He never brings them anything to drink. My girlfriend brings the drinks. He knows this. So when he does approach, I don't know whether or not he did or did not know I was in the vehicle, but I have been followed home from Mr. Robinson 3 times. 3 times he has followed us home. He's mad about her not introducing him. I've been knowing her since I was 13. I did make mistakes prior to now. I did do a 10-year bid, sir, and I am home, and that does not represent me if that's what he was thinking. So as far as him trying to bring that, that's not it. I've been knowing her again since I was 13. Me and her daughter, which is one of my witnesses, was in the vehicle. I was in the passenger side. My girlfriend was in the driver's side. We park away because we seen his truck. We park away. He finds himself coming over to the vehicle. Why? I don't know why. But again, she's always have been scared of him. She has lost a tooth. He has knocked out her tooth and everything. So when he does approach her and he approaches the vehicle, he knocks on the window, and you will understand why I did exit the vehicle. When I did exit the vehicle, sir, I asked him to step away from the vehicle. Did not try to fight him. Now, the cheer parent that he did contact, that he was saying he was talking to, those two guys, sir, is just me and 2 females. 2 guys come. Now I'm in the middle of 2 guys. So my girlfriend did try to stop me from getting close, from them jumping me. From there on, we leave. I'm outnumbered with an 18-year-old and my girlfriend. So we did leave. Now, as far as me wanting to hurt him, I take care of his kids. That's what I do. That's why whatever we're going through, the court system and whatever love he had for her, I don't know what's going on. Again, I was incarcerated. She will be a witness to all this information that I'm saying. And what happens was when we do leave, sir, this is September. We find out the actual documents that I did receive, the application of the warrant. I do not reside at the residence, sir. That is not my name, sir. But she did receive it, and she did say, guess what? I believe my kid's father did take a warrant out on you. And I said, a warrant? Now, if anything, first of all, I am a child of God. I'm not trying to hurt him. He has 2 kids, 2 kids. Why would I even want to do something to you? But I will not allow you to hurt anyone. And you know that. That's why you did this coward move. And you know that. So you know I never ever, and I did apologize to you. I apologized to you because of what? Because of what? Because you said that you were going through counseling with her and you wanted your family back. And I apologized to you because I did not know that. And I said I did not mean to intrude on your family. She will always be a friend of mine. I am not out to hurt you. I work 14 hours a day, and you know that. So what you're trying to put this, thinking that this is going to be something to do with being that I am a felon, he's going to try to throw this, saying that he's going to get it. We know this, Quinn. One day you're going to have to stop. Now, I'm not going to sit here and debate with you, or whether or not I'm not going to go through that process. I have no care. I pray for you, bro, because something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. And may God bless your soul, bro, because I ain't out for you, and you know that. But whatever you hate you got in your heart, you're going to have to get over it. You're going to have to get over it, because I'm not going back for you or anything else. I will continue to take care of your kids, which you're not doing. You bought nothing. They did not have nowhere, no beds, no nothing. You remember that? So you should be thinking instead of doing this, because this is not going to get you anywhere. Remember that. Now, Judge, you can go ahead and proceed. I'm sorry for taking up your time, but
Right. I get it. No, it's fine. It's fine. So, folks, I will remind everybody, I get it. These are real life situations. So ultimately, they're going to be emotional for both folks. So I understand that a lot of us, we can just keep ourselves composed, and you guys have. So that's fine. We'll proceed on. So what I want to do now is we're going to get one witness here at a time, Mr. Smith and Mr. Robinson, and we're going to see what they are going to say. Obviously, I tell people that if the witnesses are going to effectively confirm some of the same information, we may or may not need to have them testify long, okay? Because there's no need to delay the matter. So Mr. Robinson will be up first for any witnesses that he has. So let's go ahead. Mr. Smith, you can go ahead and mute Mr. Robinson, unmute. And who would you like to call first?
I would like to call the witness that was actually there and seen literally everything from the beginning to end, T.Y. Jolly.
Okay, Ty Jolly, clerk of the road. It's all right.
I think her IV it was beeping.
Okay.
I'm going to try to get you done quickly. I appreciate you taking the time to be here this evening. Go ahead and raise your right hand for me. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, under penalty and perjury of the law?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Robinson, as I indicated earlier, you're going to ask this witness direct examination questions, which are just open-ended. We're interested to know what happened on the date of incident. So, Ms. Durden, he's going to ask you some questions under oath here, and we'll see what goes on. Mr. Robinson, I'll give you till about no later than 7:10. Okay, so go ahead.
All right. Good afternoon, Ms. Durden. First, thank you for attending and assisting me. If you could first state my position as why I was even at this event.
You're a cheer dad with my girls at the cheer program.
Okay. And I've been an avid, consistent cheer dad that shows up every practice.
Well, hold up. That's testifying, brother. Let's go.
Oh, okay. My
Ask her
bad.
some questions about what she knows.
Okay.
We know what you know.
All right. So, and when I show up, what do I do at that practice?
If it's during practice, you would sit outside and wait to see your daughter. If it's before, you'll go in and see her. And if it's after, you'll wait until practice is over with, and then you'll speak with her then.
Do I bring my daughter anything when I go to the practice?
Sometimes I have seen you with things in your hand, but I can't tell you specifically what it is, but sometimes yes.
Okay. Do you mind giving the event of the night of the event that took place?
October 5th, I was back then by the door. I seen you when you came up and you was talking to another your dad. At that point, I seen your daughter's mother pull up. I seen her daughter and the son get out. They went inside. They came back out. I guess you was summoned to her car. I'm not sure, but I did see you when you walked over to the driver's side of the door. And then next thing I know, I was on the phone, but next thing I know, I seen a guy with a white shirt on come around and confront you. Hold on, baby. All I heard was for him, I seen him trying to get up in your face. You was standing with your hands behind your back. The other cheer dad came around to, assist the situation to see what was going on. He did take his white shirt off. And I heard that I'll beat your ass. And then that's when I seen your daughter's mother get out, and she got in the middle of you guys, and she was trying to push him back, but he was still steady trying to go after you. And then that's when the other cheer dad came, who was standing next to you. That's when he tried to tell the guy to calm down, calm down. And he started going after the other cheer dad.
Okay. And
it's crazy because I normally not in my car, but that night I didn't feel good. And that's when I saw all of this. I was back in by the door because I normally back in by the door. So when my daughter comes out, she could just jump right in the car. So.
Right. And do you recall after he finally being put, after the incident, do you recall the mother of my children staying, or did she drive off?
Well, by the time I saw the situation, by the time I went in the building and got the cheer program director, came back outside, after that, she had drove off because they had put the girls in the back. And then by the time we was able to get our daughters, she was already gone.
And do you recall me having to take anyone with me?
Your daughter.
Yes, I had to take my daughter, correct? So not only did the mother of my children abandoned my daughter by
Hold on,
speeding.
stop,
Okay,
stop.
sorry, that's all I got. That's all I got.
Come on,
That's it.
come
Sorry.
on.
That's all.
Any other questions for her?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Smith, do you have any cross-examination questions for Ms. Durden?
I do. I wanted to actually, she stated that she seen me exit the vehicle, and go to the other side. Now, as far as in me exiting the vehicle, the only vehicle that was parked was the people that we was actually conversating with. When we were conversating with them.
Hold on, Mr. Smith. Ask her a question, a direct
Okay.
exam question, not. So let me just clarify so you know what a direct exam question is. That's a question that just essentially says, isn't this true, or this is what happened? So just so you know, so go ahead.
Okay. Is it true that there were two gentlemen trying to attack me? Was that true? Or did you just see me trying to attack someone else? And if so, why didn't the attack actually take place?
Okay, so what I saw was I saw you exit the passenger side of the car. I saw you walk around the back. You came up on the driver's side where Mr. Robinson was. Then that's when you took off your white shirt. And then that's when he had his hands behind his back. You were attacking. You were trying to, I guess you were going forward towards him. I can't tell you everything, what was said, what you were saying, but I did hear you say that you would beat his ass. And then that's when another cheer dad came on the side of Mr. Robinson. And then I'm not sure what the conversation was between you guys, but then next thing you know, you guys start going at it. That's when I went and ran out of my car and got the cheer director. She came out and she grabbed the other cheer dad while another mom grabbed Mr. Robinson and was standing in front of him. Mr. Robinson had his hands behind his back. Next thing you know, hold on, baby. Next thing you know, that's when the program director said that she was calling the police. You proceededly got back in once Mr. Robinson's daughter mom got in the middle of you guys. That's when you got in the car. You had your white shirt in your hand. You proceededly got back in the passenger seat and she drove off. That's when the program director called the police. You guys was not there when the police was called.
Oh, Your Honor?
No, do you have any other questions?
Back in, I was in a baby.
But actually, you said I walked. Actually, he said I walked towards the front. Now you saying I walked towards the back. Did I jump over the vehicle or did I come around?
Okay,
you
so
telling me it's two guys.
I don't know what Mr. Robinson said.
You don't know which way I came.
Hold on.
Because it was at the front. Now he's saying the back.
Folks.
Which way I came? The front or the back?
I said you got out and you walked towards the back and came up to the driver's
side. Well, he
side.
said I came across the front.
Well, I can't tell you what he said.
Well,
okay.
I know
what I saw.
That's your witness.
Let me listen. I can determine who's lying and who knows. It's okay.
And at the end of the day, they have surveillance camera. You can pull the surveillance camera.
I'm hearing all the evidence. It's okay. I'm the one who's going to make the decision. You don't have to make it for me. You understand? So again, if you don't have any other questions for Ms. Durden is obviously at the hospital with her father, with her daughter. I don't need her.
Okay.
So if there's no other questions, I get it. I heard.
No, hey, have a blessed day, Ms. Durham.
You do the same.
All
right.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson, let's get your next witness. Ms. Durden, you're free to go.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Robinson, who's your next witness?
The next witness, I have, well, her name is Miss Durham, and she will be a witness for, well, could she be character or she can't? Okay. All right.
So
well, other than that, that's it. Okay. I'm good. We can dismiss Miss Durham. Actually, yeah, because Miss Durden was the only one that was
Mr. Robinson. I'll let people go when I want them to go, okay? Do you have anybody?
Okay, my bad. Yes, sir.
Anybody else that you want to introduce?
No, sir.
Any other evidence that you want to introduce?
I mean, not anything presently. No, sir.
No worries.
I'm sorry. I'm just a little,
Listen, y'all are new to it, but let me direct you through it.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. Robinson, go ahead and put yourself back on mute. I'm going to let Mr. Smith introduce his first witness. So, Mr. Smith, who is your first witness?
Our first witness is going to be Tamane Leonard, sir. This is my girlfriend. This is his kid's mother.
Okay. We don't have to do all that.
Okay, I apologize.
Let her come on out. We're gonna get her to come on out. Ms. Leonard, go ahead and turn on your camera for me, ma'am, and unmute. Ms. Leonard, if you can hit that mute button, look at the microphone.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Yes, I can, ma'am.
Hi, excellent. How are you?
I'm doing well. Can I get you to raise your right hand for me?
I'm trying to make sure I'm in the camera.
You are in the camera. I see.
I'm sorry.
All right. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and the penalty and perjury of the law?
Yes, I do.
All right. Let me tell you what's going to happen.
Okay.
Mr. Smith is going to ask you some direct questions. That means they're open-ended. Like, what do you know? What did you see? How do you feel? All right. Then, if you testify, I just want you to be clear, Mr. Robinson is going to have an opportunity to cross-examine. All right? So
okay.
I want to make sure everybody's aware of what is going to occur. All right.
Okay.
So, Mr. Smith, it is 7:12. I'm going to give you till about 7:20 to ask Ms. Leonard some questions here regarding the event that happened on the 5th of September.
Well, sir, I'm gonna actually not gonna ask her questions. I'm just gonna let her proceed to tell you her and what happened that night. I'm not gonna go through the necessary.
That's fine. You can just say,
yeah.
Ms. Leonard, what do you recall happening on September 5th? 2023? But you go ahead and say it because I'm not the person who's asking the questions. But effectively, that's what you want to know, right? What she knows on that day. Is that the case? So can you ask her that so we can proceed on?
Say it again, sir. I'm still at work, so
just ask her the question.
Ask her the question, sir.
Whatever question you want to ask her, feel free.
Ms. Leonard, could you proceed and tell the court what took place on that day that we actually arrived between Mr. Timothy Robinson and I, as far as in the charges that are being brought against me?
Yes. So on that day, I proceeded as normal to go pick up my daughter from cheer practice. It was towards the evening time where they get out, the latter part of the cheer practice. So actually, I thought they were already out when I got there. So when I arrived, they were not out as of yet. They sometimes do go over. I did see Mr. Robinson parked on the right-hand side of the parking lot. I proceeded to park on the far left side, away from Mr. Robinson, due to the fact that we have had run-ins with him and I personally before, just doing things to me and in front of the kids. So we did park there. We parked there. There was another lady on the side of us, which is actually his cousin's, Mr. Robinson's cousin's girlfriend or children's mother, who actually does go to the cheer practice, or is a part of the cheer program, as well. So we were talking to her, just, laughing, regular day. I think it was her birthday coming up, and we were talking about birthday and things like that. Mr. Robinson was in the middle, and like middle parking lot way. He did look down at the car. He saw, I'm sorry, somebody's trying to call me. Okay. Can you see me? Okay. He did proceed to look down at the car. He saw me in the car, Mr. Smith, Jonathan. My oldest daughter was in the car. At that time, the kids were not in the car. Again, Skylar was in practice. And our son, Mason, he was out playing with the boys in the parking lot. There was his little cousins, the little girl that was in the car, which is his cousin's children's mother's daughter, which is, their cousin. She was actually in our car. She had came and got in our car. She wanted some food because we had stopped and got food before coming. And Mr. Robinson looked down. He then proceeded to come down to my vehicle. When I saw him approaching the vehicle, my first thing was, uh-oh, here we go. That was exactly what I said. Uh-oh, here we go. Next thing you know, he comes, he bangs on the door, or on the window rather, very aggressively. Mr. Smith then gets out of the car because we were all scared. He gets out of the car, he comes around, he asks Mr. Robinson to move away from the car or the window or what have you. I guess they then at that time exchanged words. Mr. Robinson said something to him. He then returned, said something back. At this time, my daughter gets out the car because she's in the back seat. So she's able to get out first. And I wasn't able to get right out of the car because they were right there at my door, window or whatever, for the driver's side. So as they proceeded to move a little bit further up towards the hood of the car, or the top portion of the vehicle, I was then able to proceed to get out of the car. Once I got out of the car, again, choice words were being had, both of them going back and forth. I then, stepped in the middle along with my daughter, basically saying, hey, this is not the place or whatever, let's just get ready to go. Then there was another gentleman who came around to the situation that was occurring, which Mr. Robinson left him because they were at his car when we first arrived. And he came around, so I assume that's his friend, to the situation. And then he started to have choice words as well, acting like he wanted to fight. And then I was in front of him saying, hey, no, 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 no. Again, this is not what we're here to do, just trying to basically diffuse the situation, myself and my daughter. So once we did that, we got Mr. Smith back. The other gentleman, somebody came and grabbed him. And that was it. Actually, Mr. Robinson actually left from in the area because the other guy ended up coming up. And so he walked away. So really towards the end was just, Mr. Smith and the other guy who decided to just jump in. So that's really it. We drove off from there. And we didn't think about that situation from there at all. That was the end of that scenario. And nothing else took place after that. They haven't seen each other. Mr. Smith hasn't come to any more practices or anything like that, with me. He always comes to practices with me to pick up my daughter, different times. And there's never been any type of altercation between Mr. Robinson or him because he's brought, seeing the kids and just kind of walking them to the car, and they get in the car and we go on about our business as normal. So that's what took place that day.
Okay. Mr. Smith, do you have any other questions for Ms. Leonard?
No, Your Honor. It's clearly said. I'll bring my next.
Okay. Well, hold on. We can give an opportunity for Mr. Robinson to cross-examine.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Right.
I'm sure he's not going to do it.
No, it's good money. It's good money. All right. So, Mr. Robinson, I'll give you an opportunity to ask her some questions here. And it's about 7:19. So I'll give you till about 7:25.
All right. Good evening, Ms. Leonard. On that evening, was it true, or is it true that, well, let me first state by saying this. Is it a consistent thing that I go to our daughter's practice every Tuesday and Thursday?
Yes, you have been coming to the practice. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or to Skylar's practice, yes.
So question, did Skylar have a form from her school about a instrument that she wanted to play?
Did she have a form for school? Yes, she has one. Yes, she had one.
Okay, so was there any interest that our daughter wanted to play instrument?
Yes, but I sent that to you the night before.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Was I able to retrieve that to go purchase that instrument for our daughter?
Say that question again, I'm sorry.
Were you able to give me that form that the teacher sent home to Skylar, being that I don't see our daughter every day, our kids every day? Did I ever get that form? Yeah, did you ever give me that form?
Yes, I sent it to you via text message.
So you sent that? Okay, okay.
Mhm.
So you said you sent that to me. All right.
Mhm.
So that evening, when I came around to you, I'm sorry, when I came to your vehicle, you stated that I banged on the window. Did I bang or did I knock on the window?
You banged on the window.
Okay. And after I banged on the window, did Mr. Smith come around and try to aggressively approach me?
No, he came around to tell you to move from the car.
Okay. Did Mr. Smith have on any garments beforehand or after? Did he take anything off?
I didn't see him take anything off, no.
You didn't. Okay. Um, Stating that my other individual that was there with me, um, instead of him coming to diffuse the situation, being that he did approach the situation, did Mr. Smith then not only aggressively approach me as well, but did he try to fight the other individual?
No, he didn't try to fight him. He was trying to figure out why he came into the situation. So to
You,
him, it looked like you all were trying to gang up on Mr. Smith.
it looked like we were trying to gang up on Mr. Smith.
Hmm.
Okay, and so so after that took place, you stated that you drove off, correct?
After the entire situation, yes, I drove off from the premises. Correct.
Okay. Did you have all of our children with us?
No, I did not. Skylar was still there. As I stated to you before, I had asked your cousin's girlfriend, which is the person whose daughter was in our car initially, to get Skylar.
Okay. Why would you ask my cousin to get our children as opposed to the dad? Because I'm an avid cheer dad, so I'm always there. So why wouldn't you tell our daughter to let me take her home instead of another sibling?
Well, because one, you and I do not have communication in that manner. And when you come towards the end. You normally just come in, or sometimes you come in the beginning of practice. You'll just give our daughter a drink or something of that nature, and you're gone. So I wasn't expecting you to be there. That's number one. I wasn't expecting you to be there. So sometimes you're there, sometimes you're not. You do show up from time to time, but sometimes you're there, sometimes you're not. So I don't rely on you as something that I need to rely on, because you're not always there. And again, I don't always communicate with you in that manner in regards to picking up our children or anything like that. So normally it's just me that's doing it. So I make the necessary precautions or whatever to make sure that they're where they need to be.
Okay. Do I bring anything to the practice to my daughter? With me being there, do I bring our daughter anything to drink of any
Yes,
sort?
I just stated that you do bring her drinks from time to time. Yes.
Oh,
If you come
so I do bring her things, right?
Yes, if you come during the beginning of her practice, because sometimes when we come, you're not there all the time. Like when we pull up and I drop her
Right.
off, you're not there. So I normally leave the premises after I drop Skylar off. So
Okay.
how I know that you will bring her something, she will say, "Hey, mommy, daddy came. He brought me something to drink," or something like that. And then that's it. Sometimes you're there when we actually come to pick her up, and then sometimes you're not. So the only way I would know if you are there is if I physically see you there, of course, when I come and pick her up. But other times you do come, but I don't know that you come until Skylar gets in the car and say, "Hey, mommy, daddy came. He brought me something to drink." But you'll
Okay.
leave and not return sometimes. So
Okay. And lastly, the last question,
mhm.
was there a formal introduction from myself to Mr. Smith, or did you just automatically just start bringing him to my daughter's practice?
I told you that I no longer wanted to pursue our relationship due to, the constant mental, physical abuse that you provided. And told you that I wanted to move on with Mr. Smith. You were not happy about that. You followed me when I told you. You followed me from my house. You followed me around the neighborhood area, wondering why. And that was how that went. You have heard about Mr. Smith in the past because he was a friend first before we started any type of romantic style relationship. So he was a friend to me at first. And while we were dating, when you used to, abuse me, different things like that, hit me, do in front of the kids and things like that, he has talked to you, and I've called him because of me crying or whatever and him checking up on me. And he has actually talked to you personally and stated, hey, if I need to move her, I will. Do not do that. And you've even apologized to him saying, hey man, it's nothing like that. We just, having a little disagreement.
I apologized to him, or did he apologize to me?
Well, years ago, you apologized to him. When you
What was
first
there?
initially
Okay, all right.
spoke, when you
So
first
what was
initially
there?
spoke with him, because you knew about him, you knew that he was my friend initially, before again we
How?
started
How?
this. What do you
Folks,
mean?
How?
folks, listen.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Because
This
it's
ain't work.
irrelevant.
I was
Mr.
just trying to
Robinson, Mr.
answer the
Robinson,
question.
Mr. Robinson. Let me
That's
stop.
it. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Help yourself.
Uh,
Do you
yes,
have any other questions for Ms. Leonard?
that is it.
All right. Do you have any redirect, Mr. Smith, for Ms. Leonard?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. We're coming near the conclusion. Thank you, Ms. Leonard. You can please go and enjoy your evening.
Oh, I can just fully log off?
You can go.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Go shoot.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So, fellas, what we're going to do now, it is now effectively 7:30. So what I'm going to do, Mr. Robinson, I'm going to give you till about, I would say,
Sir, I had another witness, sir.
oh, you have, I'm sorry, Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir.
I didn't realize we spent a lot of time with that. So let's try to keep this witness short because we end up spending a lot of time because of the drop off here. So who is your next witness? I apologize.
My next witness is
Okay, Miss Booker, let's get Miss Booker out here. All right, Miss Booker, can you unmute for me?
Yes, hello.
Hey, good evening. Can you raise your right hand? I can get you under oath. You swear or affirm and tell the truth, the whole truth, under penalty and perjury of the law?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to have Mr. Smith ask you some, put your hand down. I'm going to ask you some questions. They're going to be open-ended questions, okay? And so I'm going to give him to about 7:35, folks. We need to kind of finish up the testimony in this case, and then we'll go from, okay, Mr. Smith, the floor is yours.
Ms. Booker, could you go ahead and proceed to tell Judge Davis what happened on September the 5th? I believe that's the date that it was filed. Make sure you tell him the truth and go ahead and proceed.
Okay. Yes, we were leaving from getting something to eat that night. On the way to pick up my sister, which is Skylar, who's on the cheer team. We pulled up to the cheer establishment. We seen Mr. Robinson on the other side, parked. His car was parked on the other side of the parking lot. My mom parked purposely on the opposite side of the parking lot, being that we have had previous run-ins with him and different things like that, just to avoid any problems or anything like that. My brother, Mason, he got out the car. By this time, he got out the car. He was playing football with the other kids that were in the parking lot. The lady who was sitting next to us, which was his cousin's girlfriend, her daughter came and got in the car because we had food and, she wanted some. So she was in the back eating my food. That's what happened. We were sitting there talking, just having conversation. My mom and Mr. Smith were also engaged in a conversation with her as well. We seen Mr. Robinson coming out of the establishment. He looked down at the car, so he knew that Mr. Smith was in the car. And then he proceeded to walk over to the car, and he knocked on the window very aggressively. When he did that, Mr. Smith then proceeded to get out of the car and come around to the side that he was on, which was my mom's side, and told him that he needed to back up from the car and things of that nature. Words were exchanged. They are going back and forth. There was another gentleman who came up to, I guess, defend Mr. Robinson, and it was as if he wanted to fight Mr. Smith. So at that point, we're trying to get Mr. Smith back in the car, tell them that this is, we're not doing this here. Just trying to diffuse the situation. So by this time, we have gotten Mr. Smith back in the car. Mr. Robinson actually walked away from when the guy came over. He walked away, so he was no longer there. And by that time, we got Mr. Smith back in the car. And after that, we drove off and we left, and that was that.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rock. Any other questions, Mr. Smith?
I do have one question. Anila, were you holding me back, or were you trying to the new gentleman that did come when there was two guys? I do remember the altercation that was happening, but I remember you trying to stop the other guy. Were you trying to stop another guy also?
Yes, I was, because he was trying to come up as if he wanted to fight Mr. Smith as well.
And did I believe that she doesn't understand the I'm sorry, sir.
Open-ended questions.
I apologize. I apologize.
Questions. All right. Open-ended questions.
I couldn't hear you, Judge.
Just open-ended questions, as long as it's open-ended.
Okay. Well, go ahead, Judge. Hey, I'm gonna let God handle the rest. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I want you to ask.
It's okay. Listen, it's okay because
it's
all right. That's all the question I had. He can cross-examine if he need to.
Okay. All right, Mr. Robinson, you have any questions for me?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Smith, for that. So, Ms. Booker, that particular night, first, let me first state this. When I approached the vehicle, you stated that I banged on the window, or did I knock on the window?
I said that you knocked on the window very aggressively.
So it was like knock, 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 like that, right?
Yes, to threaten. Yes.
Okay. And so with me knocking aggressively, is that when Mr. Smith jumped out of the vehicle aggressively?
No, he didn't jump out aggressively. He got out the car, came around to the side that you were on, where you were standing, and told you that you need to back away from the car.
Okay. Did I have my hands behind my back, or did I have them to the side of me?
I'm not sure where you had your hands at.
You're not sure. When did you get out of the vehicle?
I got out of the vehicle when I seen you guys going back and forth.
Going back and forth verbally, or was Mr. Smith trying to like get in my face or anything of that nature?
Verbally.
And what was said?
He just told you that you need to get away from the car. At that point, you started backing up or whatever it may be, and that's when I got out and proceeded to try to break you guys up.
That's when you proceeded to try to break us up. Okay, yes. And then at that point, once you proceeded to break us up, did your mom leave and all of you all was in the vehicle with Skylar included, or did she leave Skylar?
Skylar was still in practice. Practice was still going on. So it's not like she just left her out or anything, but she was in the practice still.
Did your mom come back and get Skylar?
No, because she called somebody, her cousin, to have her to pick Skylar up and bring her home.
Okay, did her cousin pick up Skylar to bring her home?
I mean, I'm not sure about that.
Okay, so the next day, how did Skylar get to
Your Honor, that has nothing to do with the case, Your Honor.
I see you objecting. I do want to say that isn't relevant. That isn't.
Well, it is, because I'm stating, I'm sorry, not to overrule what you're stating is not and or.
You have a child support case and you're trying to prove something.
Okay, I was asking in terms being that I was the one that stayed there to bring my daughter home because she was left. Practice when all this was over, all this took place, practice had been over. So yeah, I was the only one. So that's why I was asking, did she go home with her? Yes or no?
Your Honor, practice was not over. Skylar was still in there practicing. Practice was still going on. My mom had Skylar's cousin's mom to pick her up and ask her if it was okay if she could bring her home.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Any redirect, Mr. Smith?
No, Your Honor. You can go ahead and proceed.
All right, Miss Booker, thank you so much for your time this evening.
You're
Feel
welcome.
free to go, okay?
Okay.
All
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Robinson, it is now 7:37. I'm going to give you till about, well, it's 7:38. I'm going to give you to about 8:01 to kind of surmise you feel as if, no, let me just slow down. Specifically addressing the terroristic threats and acts, that allegation that you've made.
Absolutely. You know, the thing is with Mr. Smith, it's not that I have any ill will against the gentleman particularly. Now, to be quite candid, do I want to institutionalize individual that around my children? Quite frankly, I do not. I feel there's nothing that you can instill into my children. And quite frankly, my children are afraid of Mr. Smith. They have quite honestly told me, Dad, you know, every time they come around, you know, when are we going to be able to see you? When are we going to be able to be around you? Their mother purposely keeps my children away from me. We actually have an open legitimization case at this time. And I'm working on, you know, basically just trying to have the legal way of getting my children and protecting them at the same time. Again, the way that I was introduced to Mr. Smith wasn't a candid introduction. Again, it was more so a individual that, hey, he's just now being brought around my children. He is an active gang member, and I'm stating this because he's threatening me, hey, I'm big blood, I'll have, you know, this person do this, I'll have this person do that. Again, it went to this extent because I guess, again, he had to prove himself, but this isn't the first time that he's threatened me. With the apology that he's given, it was more so, again, apologizing because he realized that it wasn't best interest for him to try to harm me or put me in any way of, you know, threats. And honestly, I just don't feel that it's the best of interest for him to be around my children, being that, for one, he doesn't like me, you know, and he doesn't have children. So there's no dialect. There's no way, you know, for him to try to show me that, hey, you know, I can do this, I can do that without my kids being threatened. They're more concerned of being around their father, who they don't really see. And now this individual that's being pushed on them because their mother is looking for a particular type of love, they're stuck in the middle. So at this particular time, you know, I just feel that it's not a best interest that Mr. Smith is around my children. This was just the icing on the cake, and I'm glad I went the legal way to not, you know, show that, hey, I have to be a big guy or a tough guy. She's been using him as a bully tactic for such a long time, and Your Honor, I'm just tired, and I just, you know, don't want anything to particularly happen. Honestly, that's my concern. I don't want him to feel the type of emotion because he understands the plane of the mind, and I don't want him to snap and one day possibly hurt, if not the mother of my children, maybe my children. That has been a major concern of mine for the longest. And you know, I try to keep my distance from him. I try my best not to be around him. Every time it's been try to be a big bully. Like he's tried to use this, you know, I'm a do this. I'm a worldwide gang member. I'm a kill you. When my baby mom said that I got a conversation from him years ago, it was because he was incarcerated. And that's when I kind of knew that she was talking to him, but he threatened me from inside. Saying,
Mr. Robinson,
okay,
are you done?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Mr. Smith?
But,
yeah. You done. Mr. Smith?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any closing statements?
Yes, sir, I do.
7:45.
Your Honor, I can sit here and we can go back and forth about who wants to hurt who, but I did 10 years in prison. 10 years. I will never in my life risk my life to hurt you. Now, if we could, you can talk to your kids because they will tell you what Uncle Jay do. They'll tell you how much they love me. They'll tell you who play football and basketball and do these things with them. They tell you where his Christmas presents come from last year. I don't remember you bringing anything. They're going to tell you about the shoes and the clothes I purchased, you know, and being that you should know that you're not doing anything for those kids, and you know that to my needs me there, something wrong with you, man. Something literally wrong with you because you're not going to help pay no bills. You're not going to do any of this. But for you to take this tactic because I started dating that girl, you know it's wrong, bro. You know it. I'm not going to sit here and debate with you about nothing. You know, you have said over and over, I'm not a threat. If you're talking about this situation, we came in contact with each other, this situation out there, and we never seen each other again since then, and you fear that I'm going to do something to you, you know, you mailed the letter to where you said, you think I stay. So why haven't anything happened to you? What recent information could you actually put out there other than the incident that me and you just took place that I try to hurt you? I have no reason to hurt you. My life is with your kids now. I know you don't listen. I know you don't want them to call. I would never make your kids call me dad. You don't have to worry about that. If that's what you're scared of, but I didn't taught your son a lot of things. He can catch now. Yeah, he can do a lot of things now.
All right, listen, we're no longer dealing with these things that are dealt with the facts. So go ahead and mute yourself, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. All right. So fellas, let's just be 100. If this event clearly is about two things, really, a woman and some kids, right? It's really about that. And ultimately what it should be about is the love and protection and safety of those kids. But y'all have turned it on your heads and made it about yourselves, right? This is why we're here, because the individuals that ultimately are most important, they've gone. Kids hopefully are at home. The mom is off this hearing, but y'all still here. The people who ultimately say they care the most to make sure that they get what they need, that they get their drink at their practice, that they make sure they got their shoes at home. But instead, y'all spending your time here arguing about who should get arrested and who should not get arrested. I don't necessarily see two men very concerned about their families as much as they're concerned about themselves. You understand? And so I haven't heard any testimony, sir, and I'll tell you what terroristic threats are. It's a threat of active violence. There is a threat of burning down a building or or releasing some hazard. None of that has happened. What I do see is two men seeming to be at odds with one another, at least though Mr. Robinson sounds, particularly with you, at odds with the fact that there's a man that entered your baby mom's life. That's what seems to be, you don't seem to like him. But you did know him before this event because you communicated that you've known him. Mr. Smith, I understand you may have some concerns about Mr. Robinson for what Ms. Leonard told you about his past and maybe what you've known from other issues. But folks, if you guys are ultimately committed to the women in these lives, which are the children and the woman, then you understand that your continued actions like this are going to end up causing you to be further away from them. You understand? Now, Mr. Robinson, whatever you seek to achieve in the courts, that's what it's going to be. But you're not going to accomplish it through this particular matter because there's no actual crime that's been committed. You couldn't even tell me what he exactly said. You never said it yourself in your testimony. Don't talk over me. So what I'm ultimately saying to you is, folks, is being dismissed. Please get it together. Don't come to my courtroom making allegations that you don't have sufficient support of, and that ultimately will lead to more of a unhappy home. Let these kids see that y'all get together and are okay. Because if you're not, they're not going to want to be around either one of you. But listen, you got your legitimization. You've got the young lady. Folks, enjoy your kids. You don't have the one. Enjoy the woman. That's not your kids. That's what I'm going to say about it. If y'all do something else about it, we'll be happy to arrest you. We got a jail full. We ready. But I'm not going to do it tonight. So you guys can have a good evening. Hit the leave button, guys, and don't be disrespectful. Don't say nothing crazy because I will still issue an arrest warrant. Get off my line. Get off my line. Both of you. You too, Mr. Smith.